Hello again and welcome back to my 60cm budget model railways floating shelf layout challenge. As you can see, in the last 2 weeks there's been quite a lot of progress, so I have added in the harbour wall and started painting up the canal boats. I have changed the grabber to a much more sensibly scaled version. I have 3D printed the missing conveyor belt for the coaling station. I've glued in the backdrop and as you'll see I've actually chopped it in half and swapped it round because I didn't really like the positioning of the cruise ship. Rather preferred having this sort of water scene where I can blend in the water. I've added some water, which is just a sheet of acrylic or Perspex, and I've begun almost finished detailing the harbour wall with lots of tiny tyres and little 3D printed ladders and a few clumps of grass. This is all made out of foam core and cardboard. I've added the lighthouse, which is now flashing. That's all done with an Arduino, which is around the back there. Very simple circuit. Still yet to finish the fascia. And I have no clue as to what to do with this front section. I've got some cardboard buildings from my other layout that I can probably plonk in there. But yeah, any suggestions, gratefully welcome. The switch levers are still holding up and we do have operation. The problem with having a fully working layout is that you tend to play with it rather than to actually finish off all the detail work. So I've got a bit of blending to do between the to hide that seam line, but the crane is all fully weathered. Oh, I know. So I've actually weathered the concrete there, added some rust, embedded the rails by adding an extra piece of cardboard, added some expansion gaps and blended in where the join is between the coal bunker kit and the scratch built crane base. And then as is necessary, I've added a little bit of overspill from the crane as it rotates from the barge to the coal dump. So yeah, layout doesn't have a name, so any suggestions, pop it in the comments below. I'm going to actually 3D print some nicer knobs, because whilst the cut off pieces of pencil are functional, they do wobble around a bit. I think that's just the thinness of the florist wire. Allows quite a lot of flexibility, but I do want to have some more permanent knobs there, so I'll probably 3D print those, come up with a nice design. Yeah, and still no ideas of what to do with this, but very pleased with how the lighthouse came out. I said in the previous video that I had a lighthouse coming from China. It was far too small, and I found a nice kit on a nice STL on Cults 3D or Thingiverse, I can't remember which, and printed that out. It took a couple of prints to get the scale right, but I think you'll agree it looks really nice. And yes, in order to actually get the light in there, I had to chop through all of those railings really carefully. So all of the railings and the shroud, the little roof part all came off. I added a roll of very thin transparent sheet for the windows, installed the light, and then glued it all back together. So yes, very fragile, those railings, and I did actually break the bottom stairs, so I've got to reprint those or scratch build some kind of staircase, and probably add some railings as well. But all in all, quite happy with how the results are at the moment. The lighthouse is a bit contentious. My dad's not a big fan, to be honest, but you know, hey, it's my layout, it's my lighthouse, I like it. Enough said. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and see you next time with a few more progress updates. Bye now.